Hi there and welcome to the Ukestuff channel and welcome to this tutorial for the ukulele play-alongs of Somewhere Over the Rainbow as covered by Israel Kamakawiwoʻole. Now this is perhaps the stereotypical ukulele song and there are already a ton of play-alongs of this out there. And you might be wondering, why would you want to go and do that? Well, let me give you some reasons. First of all, the first intro line of the song offers some challenges, and I want to make sure that I cover it in the way that I think about it, so that's number one. Number two is I wanted to offer it for baritone. So it's available in baritone. It does sound weird, however, in baritone. I'm just going to say that flat out. It's just sort of a different thing. Third, there is a unique strumming pattern that uses, and I want to share my interpretation of that. And finally, this is the 4th anniversary of these play-alongs on this channel. My first play-along was on February 15th, 2017, and this will be released, I believe, on the 16th of February of 2021. So over 500 play-alongs at this point in GCEA, DGBE, lyric-based videos, along with reviews and unboxings and all sorts of other uke stuff. So I wanted to celebrate by doing a very special song. Now what we'll do in this video is, first of all, we'll look at the chords you need for GCEA ukulele. Then we'll look at the chords you need for DGBE baritone ukulele. And then third and finally, we'll talk about strumming. I want to remind you that there are chapters below here, so you can scroll ahead to any part of the video that is of interest to you. And if you like the chords of this song, you can find the chord chart at ukestuff.info. Ukestuff is a collaborator with this channel. All right, let's begin with the chords you need for GCEA ukulele. And we're going to look at chords you need for both reentrant and linear ukuleles, or in other words, high G or low G. Most ukuleles are tuned high G, and it does make a difference in this song how it sounds because played a low G tenor from Martin. So the instrument I'll be using is my Koaloha Full Koa Concert Ukulele. The first chord you need is the C chord. The next chord is the C major 7. I just shift to the second finger. The third chord is the A minor chord. Then the F. Then the G, then the F add 9. You just play the F chord with one finger, you don't use the second finger on it. Then the E7, perhaps my favorite chord. Tilt your wrist a little bit to play that E7 chord. And then the E minor chord, put that first finger on the first string, second fret, and then waterfall them down. That's the E minor chord. You don't need to use your pinky for that chord. And those are the chords you need on reentrant or high G GCEA ukulele. Now let's take a look at the chords you need for linear GCEA ukulele or low G GCEA ukulele. I'll be using my Koaloha Opio Concert, my KCO-10 Opio Concert ukulele. It's tuned in low G. The first chord you need is the C chord. The second chord you'll need is a C major 7. I just walk up, second finger on that first string. Then the A minor chord. Then the F chord. Then the G chord. Then the A minor 7 no 5. A lot of books will show this as the F9 or F add 9, but the problem with that is that there's no F in the chord then. So really it's the A minor 7 no 5, but here's how I want you to play it. The chord chart actually just says play it with the first finger on the 4th string 2nd fret and third finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. But make your F chord, because you're going to be coming back to the F chord. So leave that F chord there, but then put your third finger on the 2nd string 3rd fret. And then remove that third finger to make the F chord. That's the difference with low G. That's the only chord that makes it sound completely different is that A minor 7 no 5 going to an F. The next chord is the E7 chord. And then finally you have the E minor chord. And those are the chords you need for linear low G tuned GCEA ukulele on Over the Rainbow. All right, now let's take a look at the chords you need for baritone DGBE ukulele. I'll be using my mainland baritone. It has a cedar top and rosewood back and sides. Now I do want to make a note that I have changed a chord here to make things a little simpler. We'll talk about it in just a second. The first chord you need is the C chord. Now, on the normal GCA version, then you'd play a C major 7, but that is a very wicked chord to play on baritone. So to make things easy, I just put in an E minor chord there in its place. So the E minor chord, just one finger. Then the A minor chord. Then the F chord. That is a partial bar chord. You put your fingers across strings 1 and 2 right above the metal first fret. Then you pull against the fretboard, support with your thumb, and you get good sound out of those, and then add the other 2 fingers. Then the G chord, and then the F add 9. It's not as hard as it sounds. Watch this. You play your F chord, then you just add your pinky while playing the F chord to the first string 3rd fret. And then you're going to take away that pinky to resolve back to the F, and then finally the E7 chord. And those are the chords you need on baritone DGBE ukulele for Over the Rainbow. And just again as a note, it is going to sound strange on baritone ukulele because Iz played it on a low G tuned tenor ukulele. Now let's talk about strumming. We'll start with re-entrant tuned GCA ukulele, and I want to make a note that no matter what you do here, this isn't going to sound right because Iz played it on a low G ukulele. You can imitate it, but it's not going to sound quite right, and that drives a lot of players crazy, but they don't realize that, quite honestly, they cannot perfectly imitate what Iz did on a low G ukulele on a high G ukulele. So that said, you have a bunch of options here. Before I show you what Iz did, I want to make sure that you know that if you can't do that, there are other options for you. Now you could play just down strums. If that's all you can do, you are welcome to do that. Nobody's going to come and tell you that you can't play the song because you can't play the perfect pattern. You could also do a fast island strum. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So again, on the C chord, down, down, up, down, up. And if you'll notice, my hand keeps moving and it keeps moving and it keeps moving. It never freezes. Even when I'm going down and then down, up, down, up, I'm not freezing. You know, that'd be very, very hard to do. What Iz did was he played a single low note, then he played a down, up, then he played a chuck. A chuck is all 4 fingers hitting the strings and then stopping it with your palm. It's called a palm mute. And it makes a percussive noise and it replaces a down strum. Then he played an up, down, up at the very end of it. So on the C chord, it'd be the lowest note, which is your C on re-entrant ukulele. Down, up, chuck, up, down, up. Now the other thing that Iz managed to do that I'm not able to do yet is he brought out the 2 and 4 and in his pattern. 1, 2, and 3, and 4 and 1, and 2 and 3, and 4 and at the same time doing all that other stuff in the strumming pattern. Now you'll have to speed it up, and I will say that it is very difficult to play that pattern on re-entrant ukulele. Why? Because your 3rd string is buried in there. On linear tuning, he uses the lowest string, which in that case is the 4th string, rather than the 3rd string, which is a lot easier to do. And it allows you then to focus on some other things rather than always trying to focus on hitting the lowest note in that pattern. So that's it. Single note, lowest note you can play, down, up, chuck, up, down, up. And that will work for re-entrant ukulele. Now let's take a look at linear ukulele, either low G or baritone low D. Now in linear tuning, in case you didn't watch the re-entrant tuning, what Iz did was he played a single note on each chord that he played, and it was the lowest note on his instrument. Then he played a down up, which he actually brings out. Very, very tricky to do. I'm not there yet. Then he plays a chuck, which again is all 4 fingers hitting the strings and then muting with your palm. And it creates a percussive sound. And then he played an up, down, up at the very end. Really hard to get that all in there. And he also emphasized the down up of the 4th beat. So he brought out 2N, 4N, 2N, 4N while doing everything else. Rather amazing pattern, and it's one that I'll continue to work on. But that's what he was doing. That was his pattern. Now, what does that sound like on low G or low D baritone? Again, it's weird sounding on baritone because, again, Iz played it on a low G GCEA ukulele, a tenor. Not a concert like this, but a tenor, and they're tuned the same if it's low G, whereas baritone is tuned different, and you're playing chords with different intervals at the lowest. So it's very different on baritone, but nonetheless, I wanted to make sure that it was available for you. So what does it sound like? You're not going to play the 3rd string. You're going to play the 4th string, the one that's closest to you, which is a little bit easier to hit. Single note, down, up, palm mute, up, down, up, and then follow through the sequence. Then continue with the sequence. And just speed it up over time because he flies pretty quick through all that. And that strumming pattern continues for the rest of the song. So one last time, single note, lowest note, down, up, chuck, up, down, up. And that is how every measure, every chord is played in the entire song, all the way through, with a never-ending drive and rhythm, and also bringing out 1N, 2N, 3N, 4N, bringing out 2N, 4N. What an amazing pattern. Now, if you can do all of that strumming, you are set, and you will sound exactly like Iz as you play and sing along. All right, thanks for joining me on this 4th anniversary of the play-alongs on the Uke Play-alongs channel. It used to be called the Ukulele Tenor channel, if you remember that. Then later I started this channel so that I could eventually monetize my own videos. And I don't say it very often, but if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. If you'd like to make a donation to this work or just buy me a coffee to say thanks for making this material, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com. So once again, thanks for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll be back soon with some more Uke stuff for you.